I, 33F, met Nate, 31M, at a mutual friends party in December 2021. We hit it off immediately. He was charming, successful, and seemed to have his life together. He worked as a senior financial analyst at a big firm while I work in marketing. From the start, he made it clear that he earned significantly more than me, around $180,000 compared to my $60,000. The first 6 months were perfect. We split everything equally: dates, groceries, weekend trips. Nate always insisted on trying expensive restaurants and staying at luxury hotels, saying we deserved to treat ourselves. Since we were splitting costs, I dipped into my savings to match his lifestyle. He seemed impressed that I could keep up financially. Around July 2022, things began changing. First, it was small things. Nate would forget his wallet at important moments, right when the dinner bill arrived or at the grocery checkout. He'd say he'd Venmo me later, but the payments never came. When I brought it up, he'd claim he forgot or that his app was having issues. By September 2022, I was paying for almost everything. Concert tickets, groceries, gas for road trips, it all fell on me. Nate's excuses got more creative. His company was switching payroll systems. His account was frozen due to suspicious activity. His family needed financial help. He always promised to pay me back once things settled. That's when I suggested using Splitwise. I showed him how it could track shared expenses and make splitting costs easier. Nate was reluctant, saying it felt too transactional for a serious relationship. Still, I started logging everything: every meal, every grocery run, every shared bill. Nate barely logged anything, though he occasionally bought coffee or snacks. In May 2023, I decided to review our Splitwise history. The total shocked me. Nate owed me $5,000. When I showed him the app, he got defensive. He claimed work was stressful with a big merger happening. His year-end bonus was delayed. He needed to help his sister with rent. He'd pay me back soon, he promised. June came and went. Despite countless conversations, Nate only made excuses. His car needed unexpected repairs. His wisdom teeth needed removal. His apartment lease renewal had a rate hike. Meanwhile, I noticed he was still eating at expensive restaurants with his work friends and buying designer clothes. After multiple arguments, Nate finally paid me $2,600 in August. He transferred it in small amounts over several weeks, each time acting like he was doing me a huge favor. The remaining $2,400 is still pending. He promised to pay by early October, then pushed it to early November, then end of November. Now it's December and I haven't seen a cent. What really bothers me is his attitude toward money in general. I've caught him stealing small items from stores multiple times: energy drinks, phone chargers, even cologne. He laughs it off, saying big corporations build theft into their prices anyway. When I express discomfort, he calls me uptight and says everyone does it. Recently, I spoke to his stepmother Sarah about my concerns. She revealed something disturbing. Nate had borrowed $3,000 from her last year for a gaming PC. Unlike with me, he's been making regular payments to her. When I confronted him about this, he exploded, saying I had no right to discuss our financial matters with his family. Nate's irresponsible behavior extends beyond just owing me money. His luxury apartment always has late rent notices on the door. He leased an expensive BMW he can barely afford. I've seen the past due notices in his mail. Yet he continues to spend lavishly. His Instagram is full of posts from high-end restaurants and exclusive clubs where he treats his work friends to bottle service. Yesterday pushed me over the edge. I discovered Nate bought first-class tickets to Cancun for a guy's trip in January. When I asked how he could afford a luxury vacation while owing me money, he snapped. He said it wasn't my business how he spends his money and that I was being controlling. According to him, couples shouldn't keep track of who owes what, it should all even out naturally. I feel trapped. Taking him to small claims court seems extreme while we're still dating. His family is aware of the situation but can't help since he owes them money too. Though he's paid his stepmother more consistently than me, she mentioned he still owes her $2,000. My friends are pushing me to break up with him, saying his behavior won't change. But after 2 years together, it's not that simple. Plus, I worry that ending the relationship means I'll never see my money again. I need advice on how to handle this. Nate clearly has the money for expensive trips and designer clothes but claims he can't pay me back. Should I give him more time? Take legal action? Break up and accept the loss? Any insights would be appreciated. Edit. Some clarifying details many have asked about. Yes, I have everything documented in Splitwise with dates and receipts. No, we don't live together. Yes, I've stopped paying for things since August. No, we don't have any joint accounts or finances. Update 1. Thanks everyone for the advice on my previous post about Nate owing me $5,000. A lot has happened in the past 2 weeks that I need to share. After reading your comments suggesting firm deadlines, I sat down with Nate for a serious talk. I told him I needed the remaining $2,400 by December 31st, no exceptions. To my surprise, he agreed immediately. He even logged into his online banking to show me he had $6,000 in his account. He promised to transfer the money that week once a few pending transactions cleared. Looking back, this should have been my first red flag. Why wait if he had the money? Last Tuesday, I was at Nate's apartment using his laptop to print some work documents. With his permission, I had a deadline and my printer broke. His Chrome was logged into Gmail, and a message from his stepmother Sarah popped up. The subject line caught my eye: final warning about repayment. I know I shouldn't have opened it, but given everything, I did. The email revealed that Nate had been lying about paying Sarah back. He claimed he was sending her $500 monthly, but bank statements she attached showed he had only paid $300 total over the past year. She threatened to tell his father about the loan if Nate didn't start making real payments. His father apparently didn't know about the gaming PC loan. This discovery led me to dig deeper into his emails. In his drafts folder, I found dozens of messages with Fast Cash Loans, a payday loan company. Nate had taken out multiple loans with interest rates over 300%. April, the total amount he owed them was nearly $8,000. He was using new loans to pay off old ones, creating a vicious cycle. But that wasn't all. I found past due notices for his BMW showing he was 3 months behind on payments. The luxury apartment he claimed to own? He was illegally subletting it from someone who had no idea Nate was living there. The real tenant was working overseas and had trusted a friend to watch their place. Nate somehow convinced this friend to let him stay there. When I confronted Nate with everything I'd found, he broke down completely. Through tears, he admitted having a gambling addiction that started shortly after we began dating. He'd been spending thousands on online poker and sports betting, chasing losses with borrowed money. His 6-figure job salary was going entirely to gambling debts and maintaining appearances. The shoplifting I'd witnessed wasn't just about small items either. Nate confessed he had been stealing electronics from his workplace, laptops, tablets, even company phones. He was selling them online through various accounts. His company's IT department was investigating missing inventory, which explained why he'd been stressed about work lately. The most shocking revelation came about his finances. The guy who bragged about making $180,000 annually was actually earning closer to $95,000. He had maxed out 3 credit cards and secretly opened 2 more using his office address so I wouldn't see the statements. His supposed work dinners were actually nights at underground poker games. Remember those Cancun tickets I mentioned in my last post? Nate finally admitted he used my credit card details to book them. I had trusted him with my card information for emergencies when I traveled for work last year. He claimed he was going to win enough at poker to pay for the tickets before I noticed the charge. I immediately called my bank to dispute the charges and canceled all my cards. When I demanded Nate tell his family everything, he begged me not to expose him. He claimed his father had heart problems and the stress would kill him. While trying to decide what to do, I got a call from Sarah. She had spoken to other family members and discovered Nate's pattern. He borrowed $2,000 from his sister claiming his car needed urgent repairs. He got $1,500 from his cousin for a fake medical emergency. No one knew about his gambling addiction or that he was borrowing from others. I'm honestly lost about what to do next. Nate clearly needs professional help for his gambling addiction. He's been watching gambling recovery videos on YouTube and promises to sell his designer clothes and BMW to pay everyone back. He even showed me an email confirming his first Gamblers Anonymous meeting. But after discovering all his lies, I'm finding it impossible to trust anything he says. His entire successful finance professional persona was a carefully crafted fiction. Some of his family members think I should support him through recovery since I've been with him for 2 years. Others warn me that gambling addicts rarely change without hitting rock bottom. I've moved most of my important belongings to my sister's place. Nate alternates between apologetic messages about getting help and angry texts accusing me of betraying him by looking through his emails. I've documented everything, including the unauthorized credit card charges, in case I need to take legal action. I know many of you advised breaking up immediately in my last post. Now I understand why, but his addiction complicates things. Should I stay and support his recovery? Or protect myself and accept I might never see my money again? Edit. Thank you for all the awards and supportive messages. To those asking, yes, I've frozen my credit and set up fraud alerts. No, I haven't told his workplace about the stolen electronics yet. I'm consulting with a lawyer next week about my options. Update 2: The situation with Nate has exploded in ways I never imagined. After my last update, several shocking revelations emerged that changed everything. 2 weeks ago, Nate's stepmother Sarah called me. After learning about Nate's gambling addiction, she hired a private investigator to look into his finances. What they uncovered was devastating. Nate had been living a complete double life. He had another girlfriend, Kelly, for the past year. They met at a casino where she was a regular player like him. Most shocking? They were living together in another apartment he rented under her name. This explained so many things. The luxury apartment he was subletting? It was just for show, a place to bring me while he actually lived with Kelly. Those nights he claimed to be working late or having dinner with clients? He was with her. The investigator found dozens of social media posts of them together, all carefully hidden from his main accounts that I followed. The deception went even deeper. Kelly worked at Fast Cash Loans, the same payday loan company Nate had borrowed thousands from. She was a loan officer who had been helping Nate get approved for loans despite his terrible credit score. They had worked out a scheme: Kelly would process his loans without proper verification, Nate would use the money for gambling, and if he won, they'd split the profits. When he lost, he'd just apply for another loan through her. The most painful discovery was about the money he claimed he needed for his sister's rent. Bank records showed he used those funds for romantic getaways with Kelly, weekends in Vegas, spa retreats, shopping sprees. All those Instagram posts of expensive restaurants and exclusive clubs I mentioned before? He was there with Kelly, not work friends as he claimed. The investigator found receipts showing he spent over $15,000 on gifts for her in the past year while telling me he couldn't pay me back. Kelly had no idea about my existence either. Nate told her I was his obsessive ex-girlfriend who kept harassing him for money he didn't know. He showed her edited screenshots of our conversations to make me look unstable. She believed she was his only girlfriend and they were planning to move in together officially next month. Nate's workplace finally caught up with his theft scheme. Security cameras captured him taking electronics late at night using his access card. When HR called him in for questioning, he resigned on the spot. Now he's jobless, and both Kelly and I have left him. His family has cut all contact after learning the full extent of his lies and manipulation. I filed a police report about the credit card fraud and reported Kelly to Fast Cash Loans' corporate office. The company fired her immediately and is auditing all loans she processed in the past 2 years. Nate's father hired a lawyer to help family members recover their money, but preliminary investigation suggests most of it was lost to gambling. The private investigator's report included one final bombshell: this wasn't Nate's first time doing this. At his previous job in another city, he had a similar gambling addiction and was fired for embezzling company funds. His father had covered it up by paying back the company over $50,000 to avoid criminal charges. That's why Nate suddenly moved here and met me. History was just repeating itself. I've blocked Nate on everything, but he keeps creating new email accounts and social media profiles to contact me. His messages swing wildly between threatening suicide if I don't withdraw the police report and promising he's changed and wants to make things right. His father warned me not to engage. Apparently Nate has used suicide threats before to manipulate people. The lawyer said recovering my money might be possible through civil court, but Nate has no assets or income now. Kelly is cooperating with Fast Cash Loans' investigation hoping for leniency, and she provided more evidence of their loan fraud scheme. The total amount Nate borrowed through her exceeds $30,000. I'm working with a therapist to process all this betrayal. It's hard to accept that someone I trusted for 2 years could lie so consistently. Nate's family has been surprisingly supportive, sharing information to help build a case against him and warning other people he might try to scam. Edit. Many asked about the Cancun tickets. Yes, the credit card company reversed all charges after seeing the police report. No, I haven't heard from Nate's other victims yet, but his father's lawyer is trying to track them down. Update 3: I'm posting a final update about the Nate situation. These past 3 months have revealed even more shocking details about his scams and manipulation. The police investigation uncovered that Kelly wasn't Nate's only side relationship. He had been running the same scam with 3 other women he met through dating apps. Sarah's private investigator found dating profiles Nate used under different names. He targeted specifically wealthy, married women, claiming he needed loans for various emergencies: his mother's cancer treatment, his sister's urgent surgery, or his father's business troubles. 2 of these women were married to prominent businessmen. Nate had been blackmailing them with threats to expose their online dating profiles to their husbands. The investigator found emails where Nate demanded monthly payments to stay quiet. One woman had paid him over $20,000 in blackmail money. The other had given him access to her husband's vacation home, which he used for meetups with Kelly. Thanks to the evidence from the private investigator and police report, my credit card fraud case was successful. The bank reversed all charges from the Cancun tickets and strengthened my account security. However, recovering the $2,400 Nate still owes me seems impossible. He's fled the city after the police started investigating the blackmail allegations. His family last heard he was gambling at casinos in Las Vegas using a fake ID. Kelly reached out to me after losing her job. She's facing serious criminal charges for loan fraud. During our conversation, she showed me text messages proving Nate had manipulated her too. He claimed his mother was dying from cancer in Florida and needed expensive experimental treatment. The reality? His mother is healthy and living her best life in Miami Beach. Kelly had processed over $100,000 in fraudulent loans for Nate, believing she was helping save his mother's life. Nate's father, despite everything, tried to make things right. He paid back several people Nate had scammed, including his sister's $2,000 and his cousin's $1,500. He offered to repay my $2,400 too, but I declined. His father had already lost enough money covering Nate's messes. The family is devastated, especially after learning about the blackmail scheme. They've hired a specialized lawyer to force Nate into rehab if they can find him. I've moved to a new apartment building with better security and changed my phone number. My bank has added extra fraud protection to all my accounts. The whole experience taught me to trust my gut. Those early red flags about Nate's shoplifting and money issues were warning signs I should have heeded sooner. The last I heard about Nate was through a casino employee in Vegas who contacted his father. Apparently, Nate had been caught counting cards and was banned from several casinos. He's now on their watch list, but he keeps trying to sneak in using different disguises. His final message to me was a rambling email blaming everyone else, his family for not supporting his gambling, Kelly for not approving more loans, me for ruining his life by going to the police, and society for making him resort to scams. Classic Nate, refusing to take responsibility even at the end. I've learned valuable lessons about lending money in relationships and trusting too quickly. Some debts aren't worth the stress of trying to collect. I'm focusing on healing and moving forward. The support from Nate's family and this community has been incredible throughout this ordeal. Edit, thanks for all the support throughout this journey. For those asking, yes, I'm still working with the police on their ongoing investigation. No, I'm not pursuing civil action since Nate has no assets to recover.